I told you how the Wokestanians, the leftist woke crowd, that's their term, by the way, for some of you who are not hip to dopey leftist terminology. Remember, leftists have no social IQ either. Woke is their word for people who are like awake to the zeitgeist of the time. They're in with the cancel culture. They're down with it. You know, the purity revolution. They find racism everywhere. If you don't find it, Joe, you're not woke either. You're still asleep. You're not woke. You're not a Wokestanian. So the Wokestanian in the purity revolution, which didn't we talk about this yesterday, Joe? The purity revolution of the Wokestanians. Remember that?
Yes, we did, Daniel.
We did. How the problem with the Wokestanians and their purity revolution in America, finding racism with everyone everywhere, is eventually people find racism in you. And it becomes a race to the bottom of the racism barrel. Why? Because you constantly have to find, think about this. This is important. Paula, get ready for this because I want your evaluation of this segment too as it happens in live time. The problem with Wokestanian liberals in the new America is they want a new America. In order to convince people that a new America is needed, they have to convince people of what first? Come on, you got it. All those radio listeners out there, you know it. They have to convince you that the old America sucks, right?
Yes.
Thank you. You got that, Paula? But the old America doesn't suck. The old America is absolutely fantastic. We've got our problems, but the America we have now is great. This is a terrific country. We've had our stains. We've had our sins. We fixed many of them. Some we're still fixing now. But the old America, our America now, is the most wonderful place to be born. It's the most tolerant, diverse, prosperous country in the history of humankind. The Wokestanians on the left know you know that. So they have to constantly seek out new evidence of systemic racism and racists to show you how awful their new America is and that the old America is a racist, awful place that you should rebel against. Well, what's the problem? In a tolerant, diverse, prosperous, great country such as this, it's really hard to find examples of that. So the Wokestanians just invent them. And when they run out of people on the right and conservatives and libertarians to call racist, which is all of us, by the way, we've all been there. We've all been falsely accused of their charges, believe me. Us right-wing provocateurs, to quote that idiot in the week who wrote an article about my Facebook page. What a buffoon. What happens, Joe? When they run out of people on the right, they start turning on themselves. As I said, when you race to the bottom, there it is. When you race to the bottom of the you're a racist barrel, eventually the people accusing you of being a racist start getting accused of being a racist too. What happened? Great article in the Wall Street Journal about another Wokestanian rebellion, trying to claim another soul in their race to the bottom in their purity revolution. You're all racist except me. And then all of a sudden, like, wait, I'm racist too? I didn't. The sun never sets on the woke empire, Wall Street Journal. Adele is the latest to be canceled. Adele, you know, the singer. Oh, I'm sure she's a real conservative. As American progressives impose their culture on Britain. So Adele, I didn't even know this. Is Adele British? I don't know. I've heard that's hello. I've heard that's about it. I don't know anything about Adele. You know, didn't we play Adele radio one time or something on date night? Whole different story. But I don't know anything about her past. I thought she was from the United States. Apparently, I'm wrong. Apparently, she's from the UK. But Adele, who I would strongly assume, I've never met her or conversed with her at all. I would strongly, if I'm wrong, Adele, you're welcome on the show. We can do a little interview segment. That's fine. But if you're not a conservative, you're welcome on to correct the record. I would bet you she's about as woke as the Wokestanians claim Wokestanians should be. But she's not woke enough, Adele, the singer who many of you have heard of. She dared to do this. Look at this photo. I will describe it for you audio listeners. This is Adele from her Instagram. Wall Street Journal notes the singer Adele, in case you were confused about the other Adele. She is in a bikini top there. What is that, the Jamaican flag? And has her hair in some kind of knot on the top of her head there. Oh my gosh, this is it. You may be looking at this photo on our YouTube and say, okay, what's, I don't get it. What's the problem? Well, Adele was apparently complaining about the cancellation of some festival. And she dared to put her hair in some kind of design that's cultural appropriation. You're appropriating our culture. You can't even do your hair anymore, even if you are a charter member of the Wokestanians. Adele, you're not even allowed. Why? Because it's a purity. The verdict is in. I haven't hit that in a long time, the gavel. In a purity revolution, eventually everybody gets the guillotine. And the famous last words in the guillotine, like in the French Revolution, when nobody's pure enough, because they have to constantly find new witches in the witch trial, or else their whole effort burns out. If you can't find new witches, why have witch trials? You need someone to put on trial. Eventually, everybody's a witch. Famous last words in the guillotine, but I'm on your side. Sleepy Hollow time. There is no side. This is not a legitimate fight. The Wokestanians are just making this stuff up as they go along. Remember the Salem witch trials. No one was actually a witch. So in order to keep the hysteria and momentum going in the witch trials, you have to find new witches. Hence the term witch hunt, like what's happening against the President of the United States even now. Witch hunt, meaning a hunt for something that doesn't in fact exist, like Russian collusion. Or racist Adele. Listen, I don't know Adele. I've never met her, but I'm reasonably confident Adele's not a racist. Reasonably confident. Again, if she wants to dispute that and say she is a racist, she's welcome on the show. But I'm not a liberal moron, and although Adele probably is a liberal and we probably share nothing in common, I wouldn't dare go on this show and accuse her of hating people because of the color of their skin. Matter of fact, I'd probably strongly refute that, even though I don't even know her, because that's a really disgusting thing to say if you have no evidence, and I don't have any evidence whatsoever that Adele's a racist because she decided to do her hair that way. Cultural appropriation. Are you serious, you morons? Cultural appropriation? What an idiot. Some people would call that cultural celebration. I think this looks good the way other people have done their hair, so I'm doing it myself. Sane people would say that might be a compliment. Not Wokestanians. Adele needs to be canceled. Well, here's the funny part about this. As I started the beginning of the show with the Trump revolution, explaining to you why the Pelosi blowout is a bigger deal than the Wokestanians think it is. Ladies and gentlemen, cultural revolutions work both ways. And the left has been on the winning side of this cultural revolution for a long time. I'm telling you, the tide is turning. Because as you start to accuse everyone around you of being a witch, eventually everybody panics and says, wait, I could be next. I could find myself in a boiling pot of water as a witch myself. We better stop this now. Well, the United Kingdom, again, no bastion of conservative values. A lot of good conservatives in the UK. We have a pretty big audience over there, but I wouldn't say an overwhelmingly right-leaning country outside of the Thatcher era. Even a lot of Brits are like, this is really dumb. This is from the Wall Street Journal story. This is great. So in all of this, quote, Adele's story offers a silver lining. It does. As Americans attacked her for her Bantu knots, numerous Brits and Jamaicans rose to her defense. Quote, the Adele cultural appropriation thing is just a perfect microcosm of American cultural dominance, one writer tweeted. He bemoaned that, quote, everything is analyzed through the lens of one country and its tensions, meaning the United States, and that other countries weren't allowed to have their own approach to integration. Quote, yes, it's very tedious, a prominent historian responded. Quote, the current prostration of large swaths of the British left before U.S. cultural imperialism is really quite the irony. I can't believe I'm quoting British leftists. British leftists who are giving the double-barreled, we'll keep the YouTube family-friendly finger thingy, baby. They're like, you American leftist morons can take that cultural imperialism where you want to impose your cancel culture on a singer from the United Kingdom. You could take it and right up that thingy there. What we call the wazoo. Nobody knows where the wazoo is, but you could probably figure out what I'm talking about. Even the UK is laughing at the Wokestanians. Ladies and gentlemen, Alinsky rules, right? Saul Alinsky, my gosh, so evil. Those rules are terrible. Yeah, they are. They're even more terrible when you impose them on people trying to impose them on you.
You just heard Dan Bongino.